Alright, welcome back. So after the basic setup of the skin texture and specularity, it's now time to set up the specularity with more control. Let me actually drag that one inwards. I hate that rim light is getting in too much, so it's like destroying the volume I'm getting from this model. I just want a little bit like that. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Okay, anyway, again, lighting is not the focus here. If I really want to do more lighting, I will have a fill light there from the side just to make it even more interesting. You know, a lot of things I can do, but again, that's not the focus. Anyway, so to define the reflections differently, there are two things we can do. One thing is we can use some map to control the weighting, which is, let me see, in the skin shader, right? We underneath the specular, we have weight, we have roughness. We can actually use different maps to drive those two things to get a more complicated results. Right now it looks decent, but again, some areas like the eyelid, the lip, may have more lesser roughness. The other part of the face may also vary. Right, let me stop the render so that I can actually work on the texture. The tool I'm going to use is actually going to be back in Mari. I'm going to use Mari to help me create those textures. If you go to the shaders, we're now only using the channels we're texturing, and we have two channels, the color map and displacement map. Okay, I can go back to the shaders, and we can actually create a new shader. And that's going to be a AI standard. It's an old AI standard shader, so it doesn't really compatible with our new AI standard shader in AI Arnold Core 5.0 or so. So it's a little outdated, but it can still be similar. And I'm going to call this new shader AI standard skin. Okay, and then I can pass in images. For the diffuse color, I'm going to pass in my color map, so no surprise there. Go to the specularity part. Okay, and then if you scroll down, there are a lot of attributes you can add, even displacement map. So we can actually pass in our displacement map. Okay, and it's going to be looking really ugly. If you go all the way down to the displacement map part, you can control how much it is. So maybe 0.1. Still too much, 0.01. Still too much. I don't know why they're using different standard, which is the ugliest thing ever happened to the industry. Everyone is using a different standard. 0.3. Okay, so that I can see a little bit of that. Doesn't really, it's not a very important thing. So maybe that. Alright. So just a little bit of displacement so that I can see some detail. And let's go back again up to the specularity. We can change the weight back to 1 so that we can see some specular information. And roughness apparently is wrong. Let me drag that up. Actually, let's see if the values are actually compatible with each other. Go back to Maya, and you can let me go grab my skin shader. My roughness is like 0.481. Right, go back to here and type in that. I already see the difference. So nope, not compatible with each other, which is ugly. But what can you do? They're just not different, not the same thing. Anyway, let's just drag that up just for preview purposes. So I'm not going to use that to do anything particularly interesting. I actually wanted to use that just to see, you know, a proper reflection that I will actually use. I will actually that is actually close to what I'm having here in the render. Okay. Then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna break that up using the a map to control the specular weight. So moving back to specularity weight, which is here, right? Let me create a new channel. We're gonna call this one specularity weight, and then the color will be 0 for now, and let me press OK. So because it's a 0 color, that means it's gonna be black, no weighting for the specularity. I should see something like this. And then what I'm going to use is actually my displacement map that I created here in the displacement map channel. The reason for that is that I want to break my specularity based on the bumpiness that I will have on my model, and the displacement map is actually the bumpiness, right? So how can I get that? Oh, I can actually go back to the base color of my specularity weight, right click on it, and I can do a transfer and choose the displacement map as the source. Click on base and this, those ones, maybe my medium pores, move them there, and then the destination will be the specular weight, and press OK. What this one does is going to copy the channels, right, from the displacement map channels to the layers of my specularity weight. It's basically copying, but I don't know why this stage takes a lot of time, so I have to wait for a little while for them to actually finish all the copying. And when that one is done, I should be able to use that as some base information that I can use to define the weighting of the specularity. Alright, so it takes a little while, so I paused the video. But anyway, now you can see some changes already. You can see that on those pore, the inside of the pore, I don't have specularity that much, at least. So it's already doing something. You can hold down the I button. Oops. Change the holding down I button. You can actually change what you're viewing. So I can change my viewing to the current channel here. So this is actually the color I'm getting, right, in the specular weight now. And I don't want it to be that even. I want to make it really sharp. I want to make it having a lot of contrast. So let me add in a new adjustment layer, and I'm going to choose this one called Grade. Grading is my favorite node in Nuke. What it does is redistributing or squeezing the color around. Let me drag the white points, the black point up, so that I'm making the darker area really dark, and drag the white point to the other direction to make the bright area really bright. Okay, so now I'm really defining where I want to have specularity and where I don't want, and it's going to be exactly matching with my displacement map. Okay, let me hold down I button again and switch back to my material to actually reveal the result. Now you can see the specularity are now being broken up by the displacement map information, and this is actually perfect for my specularity redistribution. Okay, if I like this result, I can then right click on it and export the all layer flattened. I'm going to put those ones into a new folder, call it specular weight. Okay, JPEG is the format, and export all patches. Okay, that's gonna export this map back to Maya. Now there is a plugin called mGold in Mari that you can transfer the entire material back to Maya, but unfortunately this is an older standard AI standard material, and I don't think it does a very good job. You can convert it back in Maya, but I just, sometimes I prefer this way and connect them myself. It's just easier that way, to me at least. I don't know why I'm having two eyes on the back. I guess that's okay. Never gonna see that anyways. So let me go back to Maya. I'm gonna load those textures for my specularity weight. Okay, the texture will be these guys. Oops, I don't see those guys. I'm not sure why. Let me go back to Mari. Oh, is that because I'm running out of space? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So I'm running out of C drive space. I might need to go back and go to the ZBrush and preferences, quick save, and just delete quick save files. Yes, that's gonna free up some space for me, and also close ZBrush. And Mari is taking a lot of space, but anyway, so that's the reason. Sorry about that. Let me go clean up those things, and then I can come back. Alright, welcome back. So yeah, I cleaned up my C drive. It was like only 21 megabytes left, which is ridiculously small. Go to my specular weight. I'm gonna call this one specular weight, and export all patches. Yeah, I think I need a new solid drive, bigger one for my system drive because it's too small. Anyway, now it should be done. Let me go back to Maya and then load my maps here. Underneath the specular weight 1001, right? Open that, and also tile it. It's a UDIM, tile textures. And unfortunately, Maya is trying to use out alpha to connect to specularity, which doesn't do anything. Let's use out R instead. Alright, let me rerun the render. Take a look. It's hard to see. Let me go change my material roughness to something lower so I can really see some reflections. Now you can see this time the reflection is being bricked up by my the map I used. I exported from Mari, so that they're now kind of like giving me, maybe it's too shiny so I can bring it back, but you can see now they're like being bricked up by into smaller chunks. The poor area will not have any specularity because of that control. Okay, so that's one of the little techniques that I can use to really break up the specularity to get this high frequency detail. Like this. We can actually compare that without it if you wanted to, but it's just one of the functionalities that you can utilize. Anyway, so that's gonna be the specularity part, the weighting part of the specularity. After this, we're gonna go back in the next tutorial maybe. Yeah, it's getting too long, right? 30 minutes already. So in the next tutorial, I'm gonna go back to Mari and define more stuff for the specularity, because the specularity is actually, in my opinion, a more important part than color map even, to really get good looking quality, because you can feel it when you're far away. You cannot even feel specularity when you're far away. Sorry, the color when you're far away. So specularity is, in some sense, equally important, if not more important, than the color map. Okay, so see you next time.